Level 100. The pinnacle of power for a Pokemon. Very few Pokemon ever reach this level. This is a series of videos in which I push Pokemon's levels to the absolute limit by raising them to 100 in unconventional ways and environments. Because, more or less, I'm crazy. This is the Level 100 Gauntlet. I hope you enjoy.
Once every 1,000 years, a comet known as the Millennium Comet can be seen in the night sky, and a certain mythical Pokemon awakens, capable of granting wishes. And it seems that right now, this Pokemon is awakened and listened to the wishes of so many of you. The wishes that I have received almost every day since Sword and Shield's release. And I share that common wish with y'all as well. That wish is to raise a Jirachi to level 100 only via Pokemon Camp. Let's hope that this thing has the appetite to eat over 1,000 curries after 1,000 years of slumber.
So a lot of you might be wondering, why Jirachi? And more importantly, how do you gain levels through this Pokemon Camp thing in the first place? So let's talk about it. To me, Jirachi and camping go together, like me and inadvertently killing shiny Chanseys for these challenges, which by the way won't happen during this challenge since Chansey isn't in Sword and Shield. The first time I ever saw Jirachi was in the GameCube game Pokemon Channel, which was, believe it or not, my first GameCube game. And you encounter Jirachi at this place called Camp Starlight, where you look at stars under the sky with Pokemon. And if you've ever watched the Jirachi movie, Ash and the gang go camping a whole lot. So, Jirachi and camping, perfect combination. Also, another reason I picked Jirachi is that it's one of the unique transfer-only Pokemon that is not available through normal means in Sword and Shield but still exists in the game's coding. So, that would be pretty cool to go through the Gauntlet using one of those. In addition to that, on a lot of these level 100 Gauntlet challenges, I end up using Pokemon in the faster experience point groups. But Jirachi is a mythical Pokemon in the slow EXP group, which requires 1,250,000 experience points to reach level 100. So this will be a little change of pace for me, and I kind of look forward to a longer Gauntlet. So now we have my Pokemon choice out of the way, let's discuss the inner mechanics of Pokemon Camp, and see exactly how this level gaining thing works with it.
So in Sword and Shield, from very early on in the game, you have access to Pokemon Camp, which is a delightful way to kick back and hang out with your Pokemon. And there are 2 activities you can do to gain experience there: playing with toys and making curry. I'm focusing a lot more on the curry aspect of this for this particular Gauntlet, but I might explore doing the toy side of things more in a future Gauntlet. I would have just called this video a curry Gauntlet, but I did gain a tiny amount of EXP from toys, so I'm still just calling it a Pokemon Camp Gauntlet. Anyway, when you play with toys, for every interaction you have with your Pokemon, whether it be them fetching a ball or smacking the toy with the bell, they'll gain a little bit of experience. You can keep this up for a little while, but eventually your Pokemon will grow bored of playing and won't play anymore until you feed them some curry. The experience gain from playing is pretty small and applies just to the Pokemon in your party that you played with. And now, let's talk curry. There's a lot more depth to this than the toys. There's a process to making curry, and every time you go through this process and finish one, the game will rank you on it, and your entire team will gain some experience points based off of that rank. And believe it or not, despite playing with toys having a limit, and your Pokemon in previous games getting full off of tiny little desserts and refusing to eat anymore, you can just keep feeding your Pokemon curry forever if you want to. It really makes you wonder what's so different about Pokemon's appetites in the Galar region. Now let's talk about how the curry gets scored. There are 5 classes: Coughing class, Wobbuffet class, Milcery class, Caparaja class, and Charizard class. A ton of different factors help decide how your curry gets ranked into one of these classes, starting with the ingredient selection. Believe it or not every base ingredient is equal. The ingredients that cost a little bit more that you can get from the Hammerlock ingredient seller, like the egg or the fruit bunch, tend to produce higher ranked curries more consistently. We can see this in action by doing a little AFK experiment. If we make a curry with no base ingredient added at all, and 1 Oran Berry, and don't touch the game at all during the minigame, we'll get a Coughing class curry, the worst of the worst. But if we do the exact same thing, adding the fruit bunch first, it comes out Wobbuffet class, which is a cut above Coughing. It goes to show how difficult it actually is to accidentally create a coughing class curry, and it makes me wonder if it's even possible to do with some base ingredients. The berries you add also contribute to the final ranking. Every berry has a certain flavor index, and the rule of thumb is that the rarer the berry is, the stronger the flavor it has. And naturally, adding more berries to the curry makes the curry more flavorful. And making the curry more flavorful increases its ranking. So, using a combination of 10 rare strong berries makes it possible to create a Charizard class curry by yourself, while a similar performance in the minigame using 10 weaker berries will only yield Milcery or Copperajah class curries. But I do believe every combination can result in a Charizard class curry if you're playing multiplayer, since that seems to boost the ranking overall a little bit. And of course, the last big factor to your curry's ranking is how well you perform in the minigame. There are 3 individual parts to the minigame, the first being fanning the flames. The goal here is to get the flame up to a particular level, but not any larger than that, by mashing the A button in rhythm. If you see sparkles coming up from your curry, that means you have a good rhythm going. Try to keep the sparkles on screen. If you're going to be doing this a lot like I am, I suggest saving your thumb some pain and also use the shoulder buttons, since they also register as A button presses here. The next step is stirring the curry by twirling the control stick. Just like fanning the flames, the idea is to keep a rhythm going and stir at a pace where you see sparkles. Stirring too slow will burn the curry, and stirring too fast will have it spill over. Instead of killing my thumb, I like to do this with an arcade-style grip. The final step is putting your heart into it, and the goal is to get the heart to drop in somewhere in the light green circle, meaning you'll need to press the A button a little bit before the ring gets there. To avoid putting too much strain on my heart doing this minigame, I just press the A button instead. Something interesting of note is that any experience gained through camp scales with the level of the Pokemon gaining experience. The higher level a Pokemon is, the more experience it will gain through these activities, capping out at a maximum rate once it reaches level 60. Also, standard experience bonuses like Lucky Egg or Traded Bonus don't apply here.
So now that I've finally finished explaining everything, let's actually get into the gauntlet itself. We're gonna have to do quite a bit of preparation for this. We're gonna need some ingredients, we're gonna need some berries, we're gonna need a whole team of Pokemon willing to suffer this bizarre fate of eating over 1,000 curries, and we're gonna most importantly need a Jirachi, which is gonna be a little journey in itself. So let's go on that journey to get Jirachi and bring it all the way to the Galar region.
I'm going to be obtaining my Jirachi from the Colosseum bonus disc, which I got back in the day for pre-ordering Pokemon Colosseum. This disc basically serves as an unlimited supply of level 5 Jirachi, as long as you have a Ruby or Sapphire that you're willing to restart the save file on, since it's limited to 1 Jirachi per save file. I've always liked mythical distributions like this because it's so much more fun to get it at a low level and train it than it is to receive it at an already super high level. After transferring this Jirachi to Sapphire, it still has a long journey to go on before it can wake up in the Galar region. It starts out on the GameCube, goes to one of the 3rd gen games, has to be transferred up to 4th gen, then 5th gen, then Pokemon Bank, then Pokemon Home, and then it can finally reach the Galar region on Sword and Shield. Let's take it on this journey. To get it from 3rd to 4th gen, we have to use the dual slot system of the DS. Then we transfer it up using Pal Park, which is a little catching minigame. Also, while I was in 4th gen, I made a quick pit stop and gave it the Gorgeous and Royal ribbons, since all ribbons give your Pokemon unique special titles when they're sent out into battle in Sword and Shield. To get it from 4th to 5th gen, we have to have 2 DS systems. Then using Download Play and Poketransfer, we download the software to play another minigame to bring it up to 5th gen. To get it from 5th gen to Pokemon Bank, I had to place it in box 1 of the PC on the 5th gen game, put it in my 3DS, and go to the Poketransporter app, which brings that box 1 over to Pokemon Bank. Then from Pokemon Bank, it can be transferred directly into Pokemon Home. And from Pokemon Home, it can finally step onto the soil of the Galar region.
Now that our Jirachi is in Sword, it is with great pleasure that I announce the 5 Pokemon that will be accompanying this Jirachi on this journey. First up, we have Pinksy the Shellos, which was just chillin' in box 1 of my Diamond version for 13 years since release date. I think this thing was in desperate need of some fresh air. Also, it's the pink West Sea Shellos, which is actually transfer exclusive in Sword and Shield since you can only find the blue East Sea Shellos in the Galar region. Then, for guidance for this Jirachi as a previous subject of a level 100 Gauntlet, I'm bringing along my Stone Journer, named a level 100 Gauntlet, from the Raid Gauntlet. I'm also bringing my shiny room Regas from my sword playthrough just to sit there and look pretty. And last but not least, I'm bringing along my Phalanx and shiny Phalanx because they're my favorite Generation 8 Pokemon.
With our team complete, that brings us to February 22nd, 2020, Day 1. With 167 hours and 25 minutes on my save file as a starting point, the rest of the preparation for this gauntlet began. And officially, the gauntlet did as well. Kind of on accident.
Well, I goofed around playing with Jirachi for some stock footage, and I gained 20 experience points. Off to an incredible start.
My incredible start became even more incredible as I also unknowingly recorded for the next 40 minutes with my microphone muted. But that's okay. I was kind of a moron when it came to this Pokemon Camp thing Day 1 anyway. Even though I've spent the past 10 minutes of this video explaining everything about Pokemon Camp's mechanics, I certainly didn't go into the gauntlet with that knowledge. So my goals the first day were to just experiment with it and to strategize how I was going to do a secondary goal for this gauntlet, completing the Curry Dex. The Curry Dex is a book full of all 151 different varieties of curry you can make. And it's certainly a feature that exists. And that's enough criteria for me to work towards completing it.
If I want to finish the Curry Dex, I need to collect some ingredients. So I'm going to hit up the wild area, watch some Frostbite, and collect some ingredients real quick.
I started gathering ingredients from the random passerby who appear if you're playing online in the wild area. They seem to have a pretty limited set of ingredients they give you though, so I eventually went and bought some more ingredients from the 2 ingredient sellers near Hammerlock and Rolling Hills, who have a different assortment of ingredients every day. I then went to Wedgehurst where there's a berry vendor who sells Oran, Pecha, and cherry berries for a really cheap price. These will be the bulk of the berries that I'll be using in this gauntlet outside of getting specific flavors for the Curry Dex every now and then. With a few ingredients and some berries in tow, I decided my first goal was to try and make a Charizard class curry. I saw in a lot of places online that people were suggesting to do multiplayer for this, so I went into the wild area, set up camp, and hoped for some random people to join and make some curry. I thought this would be some easy experience in Charizard curry, but thinking that may have been a mistake. The people I matched up with had no restraint in the minigame, and I only walked away with Copperajah class curry. But I still got some experience out of it, so it wasn't all in vain. Then I tried to make some curry with the NPCs that can be found in-game in the tents on various routes. The name Tristan. That rings a nice bell. Tristan. He's grown a lot since I last saw him. I found that sometimes you can make a good curry with these CPUs, but for being CPUs, their skill is not consistent. It ranged from them completely missing putting their poor CPU hearts into the curry, to this. Whoa, what? I've literally never seen this animation before. Whoa! That's some crazy curry right there. That is almost definitely going to be Charizard class. Look at that sparkle. It's a shiny curry. Despite my best efforts to cook virtual curry with these virtual people in perfect harmony, I was still falling short of the mark. How is that not Charizard class? How is that not Charizard class? At this point, I had not yet realized the correlation between the ingredients and berries you use and the rank that your curry gets, and I thought the rank was entirely decided by minigame performance. This led to some desperate measures. Alright, I'm just gonna go all out and mash. Who cares about what the Pokemon think, right? I went on a little tour of every camp on every route to see if there are any camps out there that had prodigy cooks or something. Whoa, Ralts is floating? I didn't know it did that. What the heck? The only prodigy I found was this floating Ralts. At this point, all the computers had failed me. I had not yet made a single Charizard class curry, so I only had one place left to go. I went back online to seek some sage advice from someone who I've heard is able to make curry out of a hydro flask. We needed to go visit the camp of a Visco girl. Visco girl? Can't believe I'm going Pokemon camping with the Visco girl right now. Alright, I guess we're burning it. It's spinning ridiculously fast. This is probably not going to turn out very good, I'm going to guess. Or maybe these Pokemon are just bad critics of food. Maybe it's actually amazing. We'll just have to see. Look at that shimmer. It's got to be okay. Caparaja. What are you mixing? What is she mixing right now? Even failing to make Charizard curry with a Visco girl, I retreated back to making curry with the CPUs for the rest of the night. Still did not make Charizard class on day 1. Alright, so it's midnight. I've made 53 curries now. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm at level 15, which is pretty cool. I want to try and unravel the mysteries of how exactly all of these curry mechanics work. But, we'll get there soon, I think. I started day 2 with a Baja Blast and a mission. I had failed to make Charizard class 53 times the day before. My 54th curry was going to be Charizard class. I did a bit of research, and I found the best spot to do this was on Route 6 at the tent there. And at this point, I finally put in my rare berries instead of the fodder berries I'd been using from Wedgehurst. With the ingredients in the pot, I fanned the flames at a pace to match the CPU so we didn't burn the curry. Then I stirred it at a pace where it wouldn't spill over. And then I put in my virtual heart with them. And at last, I saw the Charizard class curry. That's Charizard class. We did it. A day's worth of turmoil for this, and what did our Jirachi get out of it? 160 experience points. Things are pretty slow at these early levels. With my mind free at last from the clutches of Charizard class curry, knowing that it wouldn't even be all that more efficient to consistently go for it, I was a bit more relaxed about the class of my curry from here on out. Instead of going to CPU camps, I set up my own camps, and got to spend some quality time with my Pokemon. The standoff of the century. This is like an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. It's been going on for at least a solid minute, right? I'm gonna see if this ever stops. This action's been so intense that Jirachi fell asleep. Let's go, Shellos. Okay, I think this is actually going to go on forever. I'm just gonna start cooking now. As I started making curry at my own Pokemon camps like this, something really, really cool started to happen. I'm surprised that was Caparaja class. And I actually wouldn't have even noticed the cool thing if I didn't exit out of this menu. Wait, there's a Binacle here now. Oh, is this my first wild Pokemon through this? Let's go! Yes, wild Pokemon can show up in your camp after you finish making curry. I've never had this happen to me before. Welcome to the team. And these wild Pokemon do have something special about them. Curry Connoisseur has a special mark. I wonder how its IVs are. So it's pretty standard. It's like, it seems to be like something like one of the standard wild Pokemon from their out. Just spawned into camp like that. Starting with this Binacle, I started to get random wild Pokemon every few curries, adding a whole new layer of excitement to making curry. Now there's an Abomasnow here. What's up? I wanted to understand how exactly it worked, what encounter table it pulled from, and if these Pokemon had any special traits beyond the curry mark. Now there's a Darumaka. We're getting so many of these now. Oh, there's an Indeedee. It's not even in focus. I became so engrossed in trying to understand the mechanics of this that I didn't even notice the nice progress I was making on my curry decks or the gauntlet itself. I'll admit that the grind for this gauntlet was a little bit more arduous than most, since I had to stay focused on the game and literally keep my hands full in order to make a good curry. This made the multitasking that I typically do during these grinds kind of difficult, outside of maybe watching videos or streams. But these wild Pokemon guests added a whole new layer of excitement to it for me that made it feel worth it. I wanted to see how exactly this all worked, and if they could be shiny. Hello, Seismitoad.
Alright, so we're something over like 120 curries made. Jirachi is level 21 now, meaning it's starting to gain a little bit more experience than it was. It's a little bit more of a crawl than... I don't even know what it was before. It was whatever comes before a crawl. And we've made 8 friends along the way through making curry. And something interesting that I noticed is that most of these are actually on the rarer side for the encounter tables on the routes that they're on. So it's pretty interesting. Day 3. My life has become curry.
I eat, sleep, dream, and breathe. Curry. Day 3 was the day that I accepted making curry into the daily routine of my life. I got home from work, I went for a walk, but I didn't bring my Switch or anything because it's kind of hard to do something like this while also walking at the same time without tripping and falling or getting hit by a car or something. And then I sat down making curry for the rest of the night. Snom. Here he comes. Let's go, Snom. Let's go, Snom. I'm so proud of you. Shellos fell asleep. Oh no. Is the Snom stuck? Oh no. I hope this isn't a soft lock. You got this. You got this, Snom. Oh! Snom's come to my camp. Really snuck up on me there. There's a bear tick. It's like Nelson. Or Walter is what some people call him. So now we're at 176 curries, level 25, and let's see how much experience points we're at. $20,532. Still got a long, long way to go. But let's keep going. Every day. Just more and more curry. Let's do this. Good night. You may have noticed by now that I've made well over 151 curries, but I don't yet have a complete curry dex. That's because I was still short on a few ingredients and berries needed to do so. I've been doing this whole gauntlet on Sword, but there's one ingredient, Box Food Tin, that's exclusive to Shield. Every day I had been checking the ingredient seller on Shield in hopes of finding him selling it, but it took me until day 4 to realize I could just soft reset the ingredients he was selling every day. I have no idea how many days it would have taken me to find this ingredient if I didn't realize this, because it took me a lot of soft resets to get it to appear. In terms of berries, I had an unlimited supply of Oran, Pecha, and Cherry berries from Wedgehurst, which produce normal, sweet, and spicy curry respectively, but I had a very limited supply of sour, dry, and bitter berries. I had to rely on shaking the berry trees every day to get these flavors of berries, and I didn't want to use any sort of date-changing exploits to speed up the process of getting them, so I had to wait a little bit in order to get all the sour, dry, and bitter curries that I needed. I didn't mind waiting though, because even though not every curry contributed to completing the curry dex, every curry did contribute to completing the gauntlet, and that's kind of the point of this video in the first place. Look at this team. It's amazing. I just wanted to stay this way forever. This is beautiful. Wait, I can speak to them both this way? That's so great. Yeah, I definitely have to trust the Stone Journer for me to be doing that. Also on day 4, I got more and more evidence that the Pokemon that visit your camp are from the rare side of the encounter tables, as 4 out of 5 of the Pokemon I found on Route 9 were 5% more Pico. So I recently realized that using these premium ingredients, like these ones that are a little bit more expensive, I can consistently get a 4-star curry with just like the basic cherry berries. So I'm going to start farming the experience that way, while I don't have the berries to fully complete my curry decks for right now. This moment that I figured this out was the real aha moment of this gauntlet. Conveniently at the same time that Shellos evolved, all my curry evolved into being consistently Kaparaja class. I've been so consistent with these Kaparaja class curries tonight that I forgot what a Milcery class curry even looked like. Milcery class? Get out of here with that. We go for that extra layer of sparkles. That's all I know tonight. Beautiful. Whoa, what the heck is going on? Oh, there's Passimi in my camp, but it's not holding its ball. It's just kind of scratching the air. After a fairly productive day 4 full of Kaparaja class curry, Jirachi reached level 34. And after a slightly less productive, but still productive nonetheless, day 5, Jirachi reached level 37. And the level gap between Jirachi and Gastrodon really started to grow from this point on. Alright, so now it's February 27th, which is also known as Pokemon Day now. Shout out to the 10th most popular Pokemon of this year, apparently. And a strange cosmic event that happens to perfectly align with me doing this curry gauntlet. Pokemon tweeted out this. It's not possible to spend your entire Pokemon Day in Pokemon Camp eating Pokemon Curry with your Pokemon in Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield. Unless... So I take this as a direct challenge, and it's a better time than ever now for me to go in and do this curry gauntlet. I'm about to spend my entire Pokemon night in Pokemon Camp in Pokemon Sword or Shield, but mostly Sword, eating Pokemon Curry with my Pokemon. Let's Pokemon Go, but not Pokemon Go because I'm not actually going to be using Pokemon Go for this. I'll just be playing Pokemon Sword. Alright, so I am 11 curries away from finishing the curry decks. So I've got Camp pulled up on my shield right here, and I'm about to try my hand at cooking on 2 games at once to get the 6 varieties of box food tin curry, whatever that curry is actually called. Alright, I've never done this with 2 controllers before, so this is going to be interesting. Alright, I'm not going to be double L and A-ing this time, I'm just going to be mashing A on both games. I figure that if I do it at the same rate that I do at single player though, I should get the flame up at about the same rate. So it kind of evens out doing it this way. Actually, that flame is rising very quickly. Oh no. I miscalculated. Alright, now let's stir. Oh, this curry is a disaster. It's a good thing that for the curry decks it doesn't have to be good curry. We did that at the same time, though. Rich curry. And look at that, we still got Kaparaja class. I then struggled to make the other 5 varieties of rich curry that I needed. Then I put away my other Switch, vowing to never do this with myself multiplayer ever again. Then all I needed to complete the rest of the curry decks were just a few more dry, common curries. And now, the final curry of the curry decks. Dry Bone Curry. Shout out to Super Mario. Shout out to Dry Bones. Shout out to Dry Bowser. Shout out to pretty much all the dry characters in Mario. Including those Mario characters that also have a dry sense of humor. Dry Bone Curry. After 372 curries, I finally took a victory bite. We had a full curry decks now. But our gauntlet was far from over. It's all experience grinding curry from here on out. Now that we've completed the curry decks, let's go to the Camping King and tell him the news. Hello, Royal. Golden cooking utensils, let's go. Now we'll be cooking in style. Look at that. Gyarados. I almost just want to not fan the flames to stare at it, but that wouldn't be good for the curry creation process. Look at that golden stir. It's almost like a magic wand. Curry wand. I spent the rest of my Pokemon night making curry while watching the new Mewtwo movie. I was kind of skeptical about this movie at first, to be honest. Remaking such a classic in 3D almost sounded like a recipe for disaster. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and they did a good job of capturing the original's charm, even if they took away Ash mentioning the Minnesota Vikings. After the Pokemon movie, I kept making Pokemon curry until Pokemon Day was over, to fulfill the Pokemon prophecy of the Pokemon tweet. I kept going until the clock struck midnight and Pokemon Day was officially over. Alright, so it is no longer Pokemon Day right now. So I think it's time to pack up camp for the night. I've hit a respectable and nice 469 curries made. And let's see what our final experience is for the night. We're at level 43. Not too bad. After Pokemon Day, I went home for the weekend to visit my family, which also includes this old Jirachi keychain. I don't actually consider this Jirachi keychain a part of my family, but I had to work it into the video somehow. On this visit with my family, we went on a small family road trip to visit some more family, and I took that as the perfect opportunity to make some curry in the car. It was refreshing to not be the one driving, but it was probably even more refreshing to be making curry while not sitting in the same spot that I usually am in front of my computer. On the hour and 30-minute drive, I made curry 45 times. I started out with 63 Moo cheeses and ended with a blurry 18, bringing us to a blurry level 46. I didn't play anymore for the rest of the weekend, but I got some cool footage of birds, I guess. March 2nd, it's a new day, it's a new month. I'm back at my place now. Let's make some curry. When the week of March 2nd hit, it was all business. And it was all curry. At this point, I knew what I had signed up for. I feel like up to this point, I was just experimenting with things, trying to figure out how I was going to do this gauntlet in the first place. But the week of March 2nd was about mastering the art, and making those hundreds upon hundreds of curries that I knew I needed to make. I also knew that a new mystery dungeon game was on the horizon on Friday, March 6th, so I tried to cram as much curry as possible into my days every single day. It is March 3rd, and check it out, y'all. They made the curry from Pokemon into a real thing. Unbelievable. This right here is a chicken and potato curry. Let's see what class it is. On my 644th curry on day 9, I had a glitch happen to me that I had seen a couple of times on Twitter from a couple clips. I still have no idea what caused this glitch, since it looked like everything I did in the curry creation process was no different from my other curries, but this is the result of that glitch. It's a pretty fascinating looking one. Wish we knew why it happened. And so far I have Absol, Cacturn, and Flygon. Whoa, I got the glitch! This is such a weird glitch. My character just didn't, move the spoon at all. That they froze. I've been waiting for that to happen. Over the next few days, the number of curries made skyrocketed, along with Jirachi's level. Some days it might have felt like no progress was made, but with gauntlets like these, any progress is progress. Regas is sleeping. It looks really funny when it sleeps. It's just all sprawled out and drooping. And whenever it wakes up, it puts its hand up against the thing on the mouth of the dragon, like it's yawning. It's beautiful. Alright, so that's 939 curries made. And we're at level 79. We're getting there. We were getting there, but March 6th arrived before I knew it, and I played a ton of Mystery Dungeon. Then I ended up going on another weekend day trip out of town. This time to go visit my friend Mr. Let's Play It, who happened to be in my neck of the woods. And on that trip, I made a grand total of 1 curry.
You can't even see the screen, but it looks like it's a Kalparaja class, which is exactly what I hoped for.
You're gonna have to trust us on this one.
So today's March 8th, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to do the Curry Gauntlet or if I wanted to play Mystery Dungeon. And then I realized I have 2 Switches. So,
Today, I will be doing both. I'm glad that Mystery Dungeon's kind of turn-based, so I can just kind of leave it sitting there whenever I'm doing the Curry minigame.
I was able to keep up this multitask for a little while, especially thanks to the snoms taking like 50 seconds to approach the camp. I also made my 1000th curry during this session, and got Jirachi to level 84. But Mystery Dungeon became a little too interesting, and I started slacking. And unfortunately, even at this level, an AFK curry does pretty much nothing for me. Okay, so AFK curry is not worth it. So I stopped for the day. In order to hold myself accountable for making curry, I decided to stream on Twitch for a little bit on March 9th. We're about to make some curry for like an hour, and that's pretty much all that's gonna go on. So, let's chat. One chat session later. 156,540 experience points, and we're at level 90 now. Not too much further to go. And look, our Gastrodon hit level 100 now too. On March 11th, I chatted with my old friend Dialga, who now lives across the ocean from me in the real-life Galar region. And during that little chat, I made 42 curries, bringing Jirachi up to level 92. On March 13th, I intended to stream the rest of this gauntlet, but CEO Dreamland was happening and I had to watch a few crucial sets first. Since Gunner, the Pokemon speedrunner, who, believe it or not, was also from my original Smash scene, and my friend Zai from my current Smash scene were both competing, and who knows when's the next time we'll have an in-person Smash major. But after watching some of those sets, I was ready to stream. Based on the amount of experience points I have, I'm about 107 curries away from level 100. Let's finish this up tonight. What's up, Kyogre, CEO of Water? Since the CEO is here, I guess I'll take a sip. The Jirachi is like right behind the Gastrodon, so we've got like a new rare Gastrodon form. Wake up. We got curry to make Gastrodon. Chop chop. Oh, there's another Darumaka. It right now reminds me of that kid that like stands in the doorway with like his arms out and he's like, no anime beyond this point. And actually the 1292nd curry will be coughing class, just as a joke because I wanted to end it on that note. And eclipsed by Phalanx right now, there's a slowly approaching Snom. It'll be a minute. Oh, it looks like Gastrodon kind of pushed it along a little bit. Good job, Gastrodon. Gastrodon is going so fast. Oh no, now it's pushing the Snom away. This is the worst case scenario. A literal slug is preventing this little grub from walking towards me. When Pokemon approach from this perspective, it almost looks like they're the ones boiling in the pot. We're cooking up some Regas stew right now. Do a flip on stream to prove it's not pre-recorded. You want to see me do a flip? Whoa. Look at this. I'm holding this flip position for so long. And now I'm back on my feet. That was a good flip. Alright, so hopefully if I did everything right, we won't hit level 100 quite yet when I back out here. So let's see what happens. 103,200. Yeah, we're just barely on the cusp of level 100 right now. Look at that. We're getting there. Oh, and there's Doom Desire, the signature move. I wasn't sure if Doom Desire was actually in the game or not because I hadn't seen it happen yet. So I had been carefully planning to end this gauntlet on a coughing class curry because I thought it would be funny. And without thinking, I made my 1292nd curry normally instead of coughing class style. So when I was expecting to check my experience and see that I was one coughing class curry away from level 100, this happened instead. Oh, that was it. Dang it, we hit level 100. So I guess we'll have a celebratory coughing class curry right now. I didn't expect the last word I'd say for hitting level 100 with this gauntlet to be dang it, after spending so long working on it. They're all so excited for it, but look at the preview for it. It's got like smoke coming off of it. The flames weren't even on. It's still burnt somehow. That's just the miracle of how awful this curry is. Take a bite. delicious. Coffin class curry. But there we go. Level 100 Wishmaker Jirachi. Let's see how many curry Pokemon we got in the process of this, because I'm sure my boxes are just like full of them. At the end of it all, I ended up with 259 Pokemon with the Curry Connoisseur mark, which averages out to a little around 1 every 5 curries. Maybe one day I'll be crazy enough to hunt for a shiny this way, but I don't plan on doing that anytime soon after doing this gauntlet. And the final playtime for this gauntlet was 221 hours and 50 minutes. Meaning that overall, the gameplay for this gauntlet took 54 hours and 25 minutes. And after all that, dang it, the Jirachi has reached level 100. And now it's prepared to sleep for another 1,000 years.
But I'm not ready to sleep for 1,000 years yet, because I've still got a ton of Pokemon videos to make. Thanks so much for watching this one, and I'll see you next time.